completely honest with you. If anything is going to be the deciding factor in this series, it is not going to be that substitution, to put it lightly.
All right, fair enough.
That is my 2 cents.
Look, I have faith in the Masterminds team to come through and pick up that 4-0. I feel like you are probably in that same position.
Yeah.
The key things here is that obviously when their competition is drop bears later on, you want as many of those map wins as you can. If you're on the side of NoC Predators, you want to try and make your way towards that middle of the pack, and if you can steal a map or two even off a team like Masterminds, you're sitting pretty for the rest of the season.
And I mean, if we talk about Masterminds, you know, not wanting to miss out on that top 4 finish, the threat is even more real for NoC Predators, so they really need to have a good showing here in their own right. They need to not get 4-0'd. Like, I know that sounds really basic, like, one team wants to 4-0, the other one wants to not be 4-0'd, but like, I think this is one of those matches where that is really, truly represented, and
yeah, I think that's the start of the
headshots,
season here in general, to be honest, Pixie. I think a lot of these games are literally like, can we steal a map, or can we get the 4-0 we feel we deserve? So, let's kick it off here with Nellery on the Winston. Love to grab one support. That's easily done.
Nice and clean, yeah. Between Nellery and Kiki, even losing Kiki's mech in the mix there didn't really stop them up too much. Just Colorhex keeping the lines all covered, letting those divers go and do their work. Just, you know, pretty stock standard opening scuffle, but Masterminds just looked very in control.
You have a look now. Taki already with that pulse bomb ready to go. 10% on the ticker. That's exactly how you want to start things off. And I think that this is probably going to be how the rest of these maps play out. I just want to see NoC really take it to them, win some good fights. I'd love to see them pick up one here, potentially even two. I know that sounds a little bit silly, a little bit convoluted even, but I think that's how we want it to play.
I would have liked to have seen NoC Predators go a little bit more aggressive there while Kiki was still out of mech, but now able to get back in the mech, and a great bomb onto Cyanide to demech him. That is exactly the opening that Masterminds need. And this is one of those great situations where you just, you know, this team can now just cycle through their ultimates again very calmly, very cleanly, just kind of play the macro game to its extension, and that is probably going to draw them up to about 90% here if they can continue executing well.
Yeah, a very difficult position to be in if you're the NoC Predators. 50% on the clock now, and Masterminds, you can see two ults sitting there, including that support one in between Nellery and Kiki and Cantus. Like, what do you even do at that point? They can hold it on for so long.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be that 99% fight is probably their first chance.
And that's the thing, like, it's not like NoC Predators have any particularly special offensive tools. They're really just relying on maybe NoZ catching a headshot on, like, someone like Cantus or Dalsu here to take those defensive ultimates off the table. But Colorhex so far has just had the better coverage of those eye lines. We're not seeing much impact from NoZ, and already a very cheap fight here for Masterminds. It's kind of over as quickly as it began.
Yeah, 3 ultimates still there, and probably not needing to even use any more of them. Kiki finds Special Kid. Aesthetic's gone down as well, and they're going to try and chase on here and pick up just one more frag. Won't get it at the moment, but potentially won't even need it.
Yeah. There's plenty of time for Kiki to reset, and like, he was very quick to just jump off the edge, knows he's going to be able to respawn, can pile on back to the point, has a self-destruct he can just toss in if this team really needs space. But look, 98%, 99%, like, someone's got to start doing some work here for NoC Predators. They need to get on the point. They don't have much to use. Transcender's now out of Cantus just to start weathering that storm. Kiki going to throw in the self-destruct to create that space and catch his aesthetic with it, just for good measure, gets Cyanide's mech as well. And Oily really the only one on the point. He's got a lot of health, and he's playing Disruption, but it's not anything the rest of his team is able to capitalize on, unfortunately. Getting a few through now on the very back end of it, but you've got to consider that Kiki and Nellery are still well enough in this fight. These DPSs are low. Oily now getting drilled down, does not have the supports to keep him alive. Now Ninja kind of getting stopped up. Kiki finally demech'd, but this could well be enough time for Taki to re-enter. Actually looks like they're just going to hold tight for the time being. Just barely pushed over the line by NoC Predators, but that didn't feel comfortable.
It didn't. Even when we saw the kills go down, when we saw Masterminds lose 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, NoC Predators still did not look like they were going to pick that up comfortably. They get it through in the end, and that's going to help maybe buy them another a little bit of time just to work with here, because NoZ really has been struggling up against, I suppose, Colorhex, who, to be fair, is pretty good here.
The other thing that's going to really help NoC Predators here is they did actually exhaust the last of Mastermind's resources in terms of ultimates, and are now rotating into some really crucial ones of their own. Notably, we'll see that Transcendence up in a moment. That could actually be what they need to sort of push this forward to being, you know, like a 50, 60, 70% mark for themselves.
Yeah, I think they're in a much better position than obviously they were before. Oh, NoZ does go down. Colorhex picking up that one. Ninja's still alive. 30%, no ultimate coming up for him anytime soon. Onto the point, 44%, but that might get flicked over here.
Yeah, he's doing the work for sure. Dropping Candace on the back end was a really big proponent of that, and able to just drive it on home now. Color Hex, Dalsu, Ninja, just putting NoC Predators on his back right now.
Now, we talked about probably Ninja not going to be the difference between winning or losing, but
I had to eat my words,
man. Ninja coming out strong. A nice little salute there as well. And really, finally feeling like NoC Predators have woken up. They spent the first half of this point going, oh, hang on, we're actually supposed to be playing.
We're meant to be the predators, not the prey.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like that.
Thank you. I've been holding on to that one. I had about 3 hours on the flight of just straight fever dreams coming up with wacky puns for all these teams.
Oh, I'm going to follow out Color Hex here once again.
Once again,
does fine, yeah, but the pulse bomb onto both the supports.
And getting Kiki's mech. I mean, it didn't help that Nellery then also got booped off the edge, but it just removes that tank line, that dive line that was doing so much for Masterminds at the top of that. And with that, now NoC Predators even it up to 99 themselves. Yeah,
this has actually been so impressive coming out from NoC. What was almost 100-0, and here we go. This is going to be the last fight of the game. Cantor's still ready.
Can he do it again? Ninja. He's already got Tacky. He's got his counterpart. That's the opening they desperately need now. Cyanide, though, dangerously low, will not be able to reset with a self-destruct, and they lose Aesthetic. Color Hex still has those sightlines covered, and Kiki is going to stay in this one for as long as he can. They're getting the kills to back it up. Ninja, though, Pulse Bomb available. It's going to have to be a big one. No, he does not connect it and loses his life. Noz not going to get an EMP in time. He's just sort of playing stall for the time being, and it looks like Masterminds is going to be able to establish control at kind of the 11th hour here, but better late than never.
Yeah, Oily not going to have enough time to get onto the point, and that was much closer than originally we thought it was going to be. I thought maybe they're like, okay, what we're going to do is the traditional hold out. We've got 99%. Let's just stack our ults. We can get the fight. But it didn't really feel like Masterminds ever got that opportunity. They got the win, but it wasn't as clean as it should have been.
And it almost looked like towards the end of their own 99% fight, they kind of got a bit... actually, I can't say that word. That's rude. But they got a little overexcited, shall we say, a little over-eager. There's a word that starts with C that I can't say. And they just kind of threw ultimates that, they used ultimates that they maybe didn't need to. They didn't play it as cleanly. They gave NoC Predators just enough of a window in. NoC Predators ran with that. Masterminds now have to really respect. They can't make that mistake again. Or they could find themselves slipping up a few times too many and losing Ilios.
Yeah, well, that's the real risk here for Masterminds. Obviously, NoC Predators still need to pick up 2 if that's going to be the case. Color Hex now onto the McCree.
Ooh, 1-for-1, the Winstons. This is, this is a humans-only space. This is War for the Planet of the Apes right now.
Well, Oily does come back, going to get res. They're going to realize that it is actually the Statue of Liberty. They are on Earth. Spoilers, boys and girls. Trying to push onto the side. Color Hex and Dowse, who both going to combine to get rid of the Diva. Trying to push onto the point for now. 2 here for NoC. They might get it. No, surely Masterminds here now have the numbers.
Yeah, they should just be able to push back in. I mean, you've got to respect the pressure that Noz was able to exert while he was set up in the sky, but you've also really got to... Oh, no, this is a real... just a slow drift downwards. At least they don't give over too much ult charge with that, but you've got to respect, once again, like he was on the Widowmaker, Color Hex just restricting the movement of NoC Predators by just locking down those sight lines and doing so from the ground. It's a much harder thing to do.
Taki ready with the Pulse Bomb, and we've seen a couple of good Pulse Bombs already today. We'll see whether Taki can follow this one up. Ninja was so good before, however, it really felt...
As you say it,
exactly as I say that, and exactly as that Pulse Bomb fails to hit the mark. But I don't think it really matters, because there you go, Aesthetic goes down. Still the numbers here. Kiki and Candace both with ultimates ready to go. Look, NoC... They're just... I feel like they're just that one tier below here.
Yeah,
with the potential... in great moments to bring it closer.
I mean, Noz is now really banking on having that Rocket Barrage do work, because right now they haven't had enough pressure out of the Pharah to make it count. But Kiki is a master in restricting the aerial capability with his self-destruct, and already we see that. In fact, exposing himself as he channeled that ultimate. Didn't even need the self-destruct there, Masterminds, to win that fight outright. Just took nothing from that Rocket Barrage, it felt. And Taki, by the way, is just on fire this match. I mean, literally.
Literally and figuratively on fire, but I guess that's where the figuratively, literally
I kind of wish there was a third one, because I feel like that would be more impactful.
Well, we don't have a camera, and hopefully he's not actually on fire.
Figuratively and esoterically on fire.
Yeah, a little bit too much, I think. A little bit too much. A little bit too hot for me, to be perfectly honest. So
too much fire.
78%, and this potentially our second to last fight. Colorhex comes out. Aesthetic does go down even through that sound barrier as well. You can see the Discord all going onto the Winston, and this could help things. Canters has gone down in the meantime. Both of them now losing one support, and Ninja getting the better attacking. Maybe the NoC Predator swings this back around.
Maybe, but Nellery may also have something to say about it. If he's able to just knock a crucial member off the point, no, the ultimate running out will not get the opportunity. Kiki knows it's all over Rover from there, has to take the dive, and this is exactly what we saw on Ruins just been. 99 to 99. Masterminds not quite enough for the tank to close out the last one. Or rather 99 to 0. It went to 99 to 99, so now that's what NoC Predators have to live up to again.
Do they know we've come to Lighthouse? Now we want a different type of game.
Yeah,
we want it just to change up.
Mix
if we're going to go
please.
99 again, I guess, to be fair, they are an exciting match when you see so many points on the scoreboard. But in the end, it comes down to who can pick up that last percentage. Daisu
Ooh, nice
goes
catch.
down. Well
Ninja.
done.
I mean, suddenly it's like he has to be 0 to 99, and then suddenly he just comes alive. With the help of Special Kid able to pop Kiki out of the picture, the follow-up is just all there. Suddenly we're seeing NoC Predators just firing on all cylinders here, and we're seeing what Masterminds were doing to them previously, where they're having these very conservative, low-economy fights, committing little to no ultimates. It was only the Pulse Bomb, like a fight and a half ago out of Ninja, which he nearly has again anyway.
Yeah, exactly. NoC Predators, they're essentially getting their ultimates. They earn them up. It's like, all right, into the piggy bank you go, into the piggy bank you go. And every time they save it, they're waiting to the end, and then they can just smash it on the ground, and all the ultimates come out, Pixie, at which point they get themselves over to 100%. That's how I want it to play out. I want it to be close, and so far, this game has been impressive.
Oh, ooh,
wow.
It does get the Transcendence out of Special Kid, but luckily able to save himself with said Transcendence. Now NoC, we need to see him do some work with this Dragon Blade. Doesn't quite find the targets. Doesn't want to go for the tanks, but can't get high enough to get the rest. And Colorhex finally getting the Rocket Barrage that he's been wanting this entire time. Yeah, catches NoC in the air for good measure. Doesn't look like NoC are going to push it quite as high as 99 this time, because the clap goes back over the way of Masterminds. Well, the cap and the clap indeed, as Masterminds end up clapping NoC Predators in the 2-0 there on Ilios.
They do indeed, an impressive 2-0. I was excited by the game. I liked some of NoC's plays, but even here on Lighthouse, it didn't necessarily feel like Masterminds were ever... It was never out of their control, perhaps.
No. And even when they were in that situation where, you know, you can't quite win that final fight at 90, like, there's this like numerical reality that kind of comes into the play there, right? If you've held a point all the way up to 99%, there is going to be at least one time where your opponent does have more resources than you. That's almost unavoidable, and it was in that situation that Masterminds weren't able to hold on to that fight. That is not at all unusual. If anything, that's expected, and what you've then got is like 99% of the enemy's hold to put yourself in that situation where you're guaranteed to have more resources. And both times, that's just how it played out. Masterminds in those situations won the fight, got the cap, closed out the map.
So a 2-0 overall there for Masterminds. Did it feel a little bit closer than a 2-0 would necessarily dictate?
Kinda?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly right. It is kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of closer. The games they didn't feel like stomps, but I think we agree, right?
Yeah,
that they still had control.
And yeah, they had control, but you've got to give respect to NoC Predators there. And I mentioned it during the game there. When they were actually firing on all cylinders, they really did look in command and in control in the same way that Masterminds kind of did when they were holding with, you know, in pretty convincing fashion, pushing it all the way up to 99. And that is reflected in the fact that we had, what, 99 to 99, and then I think 99 to about 80 or 85, which is like... It's still a 2-0, but it is one of those 2-0s that's really just not reflective of the game as a whole.
Yeah, very close to 2-0. And I want to mention Ninja on NoC Predators, a new addition to that roster as well. 85% kill participation.
Yeah.
Did it feel like he was having that much of an impact?
I mean, yeah. I felt like I'd been caught a liar.
Where that 15% was, I feel was like in the first 30 seconds on the first part of Ilios there, and then from there, he was ready and in the game.
100% on the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so he definitely has had, I guess, a decent enough debut here for NoC Predators. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to win that first map. So I guess when we get onto the second map, hopefully he's going to be able to have some more impact. Overall, Masterminds, this is kind of what we expected from them. To start off with a 2-0. Again, it was fairly close. So is this going to be a similar scenario to where we saw Alter Ego? They kind of had some couple of close matches early on. As we progressed through the series, they sort of started to warm up into it and kind of dominated.
It feels to me like this is how we play Australian Contenders. You start up slow and then you ramp it up, up, kind of like a rip tire, right? And then by the end, it's very one-sided.
Exactly, and yeah, I think the comparison to the series with Alter Ego is going to be pretty apt here. I think it's something we actually see in general, even when it is these like 4-0 scorelines at the very end. The first one, like we'll often walk away going like, oh, that felt surprisingly close and all that, and then by the last one, we're almost at the point of it being like a complete wash. And maybe it doesn't go that way. I think there is enough to suggest that it's not guaranteed to go that way, but certainly there's enough evidence of that. And Masterminds should, I would certainly believe that this is a team that can do that.
All right, Hollywood is going to be our second map. And, well, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a little tough for NoC Predators.
Yeah.
So far, they've played it twice. They've lost it twice. And Masterminds has played it once and won it once.
Yep.
So,
well, I mean, they have picked it, so they must have a reason.
Maybe they just don't like the alternative. I don't know, Numbani.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be it, right? I don't know. It's not like you get to see over in Korea where they get to play pretty much all of the maps except Blizzard World. So there's really only so much you could do. I think this is going to be tough, right? If you are NoC Predators, is there anything that you take away from the first map to say, hey, this is what we can improve on, or we can utilize this in the second map, or do you think it's just going to be struggle street? Well,
I think certainly on their own defense, and we were already seeing a bit of that on Ilios. They're starting to get a bit of a handle on how the dive is kind of coming out from Masterminds. They're doing a really good job of covering sightlines for things as well. They're not quite going, at least not on Ilios, with just like a stock standard, you know, Winston, Diva, Tracer, Genji kind of setup. But I absolutely expect that Masterminds can and may indeed pull that out here. And I think if they kind of read the situation well enough, if they kind of reacted to what they just saw in Ilios, NoC Predators should be able to anticipate that. And if they do so correctly, we could actually see them really giving Masterminds a run for their money on their offense. On NoC Predators' own offense, all bets are kind of off. Like, I could see that going either way. I could see that being like this one really convincing fight where Ninja gets a 5K, or I could see them getting full held.
It's one of those things where so far what we've seen is that the teams who are probably the lower seeded team, they've either got destroyed on the first point, or they've had a very convincing first point and then struggled, though, when it's come into the escort part of the map. So whether that's going to be the case for NoC Predators or not, we'll have to wait and see. Looks like they're going to start off on attack, Masterminds on defense here, and the potential for this to be a lockout. I hope I'm wrong, though, because, look, we start off every single match the same way. We go, so we're like, oh, I think it's going to be a 3-1 or a 4-0. Team A is going to be so much better than Team B. And then the control point is really close. And we're like, oh, wow, maybe this might be different.
This is the one, guys. We go the full 5. Yeah, and then suddenly you get like a full hold on like first point of Hollywood. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, it is pretty stock standard to opt into the defense when you have the opportunity. But this is where Masterminds are looking to get a full hold and then only have to cap a third on their own offense.
We'll see which way they want to push this forward. Oily already took so much damage through this process, mostly, I suspect, coming out from Color Hex here. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Diva and the Orisa, to be honest, and that junk right here. Sometimes we've seen it with the Roadhog as well instead of that Diva.
Ooh, I like the patience there out of NoC Predators, but Taki just kind of has tabs on it, unfortunately. And now that patience kind of backfires because that was a very slow setup for them. Ninja is able to get out with his life. It was unlikely that he died, but just, you know, an unfortunate headshot could have been all the difference, wasted a lot of time. But already a good amount of time wasted because NoC Predators went for such a slow set play.
They did, and Ninja trying to get around the back. The games that we have seen where the lower seeded team have managed to push through early on, I think a lot of them have been either plays with a Sombra or a Tracer coming around the back, picking up the supports. Ninja pushing in here straight away for Color Hex, going down. Might see the same thing here on Orisa. No, decides to change it up. Oh my goodness, Candace!
Knew that he was going to go for the res, that they don't quite get the closeout. Candace slips away with just a sliver of health, and that brings Color Hex back into the fray, who instantly converts kills onto those tanks. Going to completely take the wind out of NoC Predators' sails, unfortunately for them. Now it's just kind of all a matter of time. Did get that third, but just shy of the second one is really rough for them. And I thought that maybe, hey, that was going to be that that Ninja 5K I was talking about.
Yeah, that was hard, and he stayed alive through what was the entire fight there, but didn't manage to do enough. Really, Masterminds, it looked like they were falling apart, but when you can't grab those tanks, Felt like it was just took too long.
That dive onto Cantus was almost like, who was baiting whom? It was like, you could see Ninja was like, okay, now Cantus is going to go in for a raise. We can kill Cantus. And it was like, Masterminds were like, okay, they know that Cantus is going to go in for a raise, and they're going to try and kill Cantus, so let's set a trap. Let's protect Cantus and kill whoever comes to kill him. It was like, how many layers deep does this go? You know?
Taki with a boosted Deadeye, ready to go up the top. Colorhex going to throw the Riptire out
Straight
first.
in the mix.
See you, Oily.
Yeah, and dropping him just burns a little bit more time off the clock. You're more than happy to take that one with the Riptire.
We do take a look at the clock, 1:40 remaining. That's not a lot of time considering very little has actually gone down. One quick fight, and NoC's going to get caught out there, Pixie. That is less than ideal.
There's even more time that just gets burned off the clock here for NoC Predators, and that's such an unfortunate one as well because they wanted to use that EMP in that fight. It's sort of the great equalizer. When you got an EMP, it almost doesn't matter how many ultimates the enemy team has, provided you can at least catch the members who do have ultimates.
We got Taki Cam down in the bottom right as well. You can see just sneakily holding back, ready to go with the Deadeye.
So that he doesn't get hit by the EMP, by the way. And there you have it, straight in with the Deadeye. Is the, oh no! Oh, come on, only one. And already NoC has absolutely gone off, so actually it may not have paid off for Taki here. I liked the set play, I liked the idea, it was smart, but it just didn't quite work out in the execution. Now Kiki hacked, means he can't store with the self-destruct, is just going to buy a few more seconds, but this is going to go the way of NoC Predators.
Wow, and the EMP really making all the difference there. We thought the Deadeye was going to come out, but it was just too slow. Even when it was there, finds one, it's too late then. You might as well have put it back in your pocket. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Oh, and the thing is, the channel time was actually all the time that NoC and Ninja needed to really close out the kills there on Mastermind. So now, moving into the Streets phase, we do see Colorhex going straight back onto that Widowmaker, wants to cover those sidelines, and we see NoC again looking to match. Yeah,
we do see a lot of Widowmakers out here when it comes to the Street. We'll see who gets the better of it, NoC or Colorhex. It certainly was Colorhex earlier. May not be the case this time around. Fair bit of time to work with, but that payload is pretty slow. And there you go, NoC's going to go down in the first battle.
I do love me a Widowmaker duel. As much as sometimes it seems like a lot of nothing is happening, when like the something does happen. I was talking about this just a moment ago in the other room. Like, I feel it when those headshots land. Like, there's such a responsiveness to it. But speaking of feeling it when it lands, Candace is going to be feeling sore in the morning after that one. And actually, off the back of that, NoC should be able to bust this wide open.
Yeah, a couple of key picks as well. Makes it very difficult now for Masterminds. They're going to have to fall back. NoC can push this one through, gaining a fair bit of room. Oily and Aesthetic there to go with their ultimates. Cantus and Dowsu on the other side of things. But this is a ton of free space.
I just love that, like, that bunny-on-bunny duel between the D-Mech, Sinai, and Kiki, and Sinai coming out the better of that. But yeah, the payload underway is a really crucial thing, but plenty of time here for Masterminds to find kind of their line in the sand, as it were, looking to get that now as they commit them into the fray. Oily throwing in with the self... it's not a self-destruct. That's not what Winston does.
It's a self-destructing bomb,
He explodes in anger. I'll give him that.
He does get pretty grumpy. Nellery here, ready to go with the Primal Rage. Not going to need to use it for now. You can hear ultimates coming out across the board. NoC has come back. Dowsu goes down. This could be it here for NoC Predators.
Sinai not quite finding the angle on the mech, but he gets back in, and there's the angle indeed on the Pulse Bomb. Ninja once again. It's sort of like he's like, all right, guys, time to win the fight. Throws the Pulse Bomb out, catches two, and now they're able to swing it back around. It was looking a little dicey for a moment. They committed a lot of early ultimates, weren't really getting the kills through, but actually Mastermind, by wanting to be conservative and hold on to certain ults, actually ended up in a situation where they should have maybe committed those tools.
Yeah, it's an expensive mistake to make, isn't it, in their end? It's kind of like not buying Bitcoin and then selling it way too late, unfortunately. So,
I'm glad you didn't say that while AVRL was on the desk.
Aussie bit.
Yeah.
Is that a sore point? We can bring it up later.
Yeah,
We'll have a chat to him later, a bit in depth. But I'm actually really impressed with where NoC Predators have got so far. Let's see if they can push it through here for now. Everyone's still alive, as I say. That special kid does get picked up there by Colorhex now on that Genji, and NoC's getting pushed back as well. Mastermind's really just trying to find themselves a bit of space here, perhaps get themselves a stronghold here at the front.
I really like that as well. They did this really cute thing where they put all the high priority targets inside the Transcendence and sort of rushed onto NoC Predators. NoC couldn't really do anything in that fight. Mastermind sort of put NoC in this situation where they're like, okay, Ninja has to do all your DPS right now. And it just totally paid off. Like, NoC had to spend the entire fight basically just falling back and getting picked off.
Nellery's behind the entire group here, but that may cost them as Ninja goes through and tries to find the support.
Looks for
but
Dowsu.
now, though, Dowsu's still alive, still staying strong, continues to do so. Colorhex goes down. That's not great.
just in the wrong spot at the end of that. He will be able to pull out of that, but that's the thing, it is a pull out, but now it's a re-engage for NoC Predators. Sinai just barely holding on to the mech there. What was that, like 5 health left? But 5 is more than 0, and that's all that really counts.
Precisely. You just got to stay alive, and if you can push your way through, it can work out in the end. Look at this. 52 meters, 53 meters, 1 minute still on the clock. And, well, Colorhex and Canters, they're going to try and go, but this self-destruct, Sinai maybe can push them out.
Nellery pressured out straight off the top, though. Colorhex has to get a lot of work done with the Dragon Blade. They find Aesthetic and Oily. NoC not quite able to pull out his own Dragon Blade just yet, with it only just becoming available. And without those front liners, probably not safe to do so, but they drew the ultimates out of Masterminds. They have enough time for one last push here, NoC.
Yeah, 30-odd seconds on the clock, enough to get through, potential even to continue to trickle, but I think they'd much more prefer to try and knock this one on the head and get this done before it gets to overtime, because that's the crucial thing you want. Apart from obviously finishing the map.
Yeah, that's sort of the ideal situation, as per usual, funnily enough. But yeah, we need to see NoC really go big with this Dragon Blade. They're just about to come up on the Transcendence, and after that, the Sound Barrier. Those are really going to have to come in at the right time. But if those members get picked too early, it's going to be all over for NoC. There's the Dragon Blade, already hunting. Not quite finding the targets, though, just getting pressured out by Nellery. Not finding anything. Now NoC have to commit. There's defensive ultimates that really they want to save for later, but it may just be paying off because Masterminds, they're out of resources in their own right. What they do have, though, is that respawn advantage, and that could be all it takes, as now the numbers effectively even. As Masterminds are lower in the health bar department, the respawns will start cycling in. It's going to be Kiki, followed by a few others soon. NoC trying to get those last few meters. It's going to be all stall here for Masterminds. Kiki dives on to the point now, looking to get that last little bit. Transcendence from Dalsu, but he's getting trapped in the base by Oily. No, finally able to get out, breaks free. NoC trying to hold on to the position on this payload, buffeting off Masterminds, trying to get those last few meters through, but Masterminds with the full respawn could turn it back around off the back of this Dragon Blade. Colorhex, though, he's only got Aesthetic, and he's pressured out of the fight. It could still go either way here, and maybe it's going to be NoC. Indeed it is, and NoC Predators, they do get that finish that Ben Green, you said they were oh so hoping for.
Yeah, well, for me, I was like, if you can get it before overtime, then at least you get your time back if it flips around the other way. This is still better than, to be fair, I thought they were going to do, and it's actually a really impressive result. I just want to see them swing it around and give us the defense that's equal to the attack we just saw from NoC Predators.
And we were talking about that defense earlier, right? Like, if they can read effectively what it is that Masterminds are kind of doing, at least when they're pulling out the dive, which, by the way, they may not even be pulling out. I mean, nothing's set in stone here, of course, but if they are at least reacting to it in the right way, we could well see them handling the Masterminds offense without too much of an issue. We've certainly seen the capacity for NoC Predators to do that. It's now just going to come down to execution.
Are we ready for quad tank?
I'm so ready for quad tank.
I'm always ready for quad tank,
right?
Yeah, like, I'm always ready for quad tank.
I actually wake up first thing in the morning, and I'm like, quad tank.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
It's better than leg day, I suppose.
I go into the kitchen and like I put on my toast and I boil a jug for a cup of coffee, and I'm disappointed that I opened the pantry and there is no quad tank.
What you need is a toast. This is what we need. We need a
quad toaster.
Wait. You get a toaster and you put your toast in, right? And you don't know what's going to come out, and it marks in like a 6-hero lineup, and it pops up, and it's like, this is what you get. And some days you wake up and there's a Diva there, there's a Winston there, there's a Zarya there, there's a Roadhog there. You're like, oh,
yes,
I got quad tank.
It's quad tank day.
Yeah.
Like, I butter up that toast with gusto.
Yeah. And some days you'll pop it out and you've got a Genji, and you've got a Soldier and a Hanzo. You're like, man, this is like, just...
it even puts a little thing on the toast saying too many snipers.
Oh, well, not too many snipers in this particular matchup, because it is a quad tag time up against NoC Predators here, who they're going 3 of their own. Yeah,
it is nearly quad tank versus quad tank, with the exception of NoC on the Junkrat for the spam damage, which I do really appreciate. But Masterminds just kind of, all they want to do here is just pile onto the point. They don't want to take spam damage moving on up towards it. They just want to get into the thick of it. And Taki, that charge already should be able to pull a lot of weight for them. Now trying to have to pull back into this restaurant, though. Is Kiki getting pressured out a little low. NoC Predators looking relatively untouched. But as I say that, Sinai's mech to be the first casualty of the fight, closely followed by Ninja. And this is that charge from Taki. Just, you can only point that shield in one direction, Oily. And he's surrounded on all sides by beefy tanks that are dishing out damage like nobody's business. That is what you call a commanding attack.
Yeah, the quad tank really just rolling over NoC Predators here, and that fight actually went for a really long time on both sides before someone fell down. So that even that prolonged fight, I guess it's as a consequence, right, of no damage and lots of tanks.
I love this aggression now out of NoC Predators. They know that they've got, out of Masterminds rather, they know that they've got some really powerful tools at their disposal, but this may be a touch of an overextension. No, having to commit the Coalescence, only getting one of the Graviton. It's not the ideal usage of a lot of these resources, actually, and the self-destruct was committed in the mix as well. They get payload distance, but this does leave a window that NoC Predators should be able to take advantage of.
If this was Hanamura, you'd be fine, right? Because you've already made it, you've already captured that second point. For this, you're still waiting for the payload. It's all the way back there, boys. Don't forget that you need to pick it up on the way through. So it's grabbed them a fair bit of time. To be fair, their time is looking pretty good. Yeah. But that alt currency now, that old economy, looking far less good than it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, they will get the Earth Shadow, but that's not one you really want to rely on. But it's not going to matter if NoC Predators keep just getting picked one by one by this. Now it's going to be Oily. They're just not in a position where they are calling the shots. They are not the proactive team here, unfortunately. And thanks to that, Masterminds are able to just take a quick fight win here, get more space for themselves, and still no ultimates used.
Almost here through the second point, and Masterminds doing this in very, very impressive time. NoC Predator's going to try and jump out onto the point, but no, Sinai is denied.
Yeah, self-destruct right in front of Nellery means he can just pop up the shield. The team is fine, and the rest of the team is just getting picked apart here on the side of NoC Predators. Unfortunate as that is to say, Oily and Noz are right to hold on to their ultimates, but it does mean that they just kind of have to give over this point without too much of a fight, and they need to just stop getting picked out individually.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that. The respawns will now come out, but look how far Masterminds have pushed through once again. They want to fight this nice and clear. They see, well, to be fair, there's no one else we can pick up now and decide that they might just drop back just a tad, just give themselves a little bit more room to breathe. I was getting pretty excited there. I thought they were going to fight it right there at the spawn point.
And all those ultimates that Masterminds used that gave NoC Predators a window, they're back up. The Coalescence already out. The Earthshatter unfortunately denied, but that is a grab and a half.
Goodbye.
Gets all four. The charge through for Nellery to isolate one. He gets Ninja in the back end of that, and it just cracks NoC Predators wide open. Could well be hearing a gong ring out in a moment, and potentially a cap not long after.
Kind of felt like, well, we think they probably got a Graviton Surge. What should we do? I know we're going to stand in the middle. And unfortunately, that's precisely what happens.
I'm scared of Grav. Hold me.
Yeah, exactly. Let's all sit together. They're going to try and jump out onto the point. I don't think it's probably going to work out because, to be fair, it's a pretty difficult situation. Two ultimates coming out either side. Look, they're trying to hold the point here. What can the Moira do?
Apparently enough. I mean, he got two. It's not enough, though. Ninja and Sinai not quite able to barrel out of the base in time. That was a spicy one towards the end. I mean, the Earthshatter self-destruct combo basically secured it, but there was a moment of hope there, right? There was the 2K out of the Junkrat Riptide, a 2K out of the Coalescence. Like, there are so many situations where the respawn advantage would have actually turned that fight around there. It just goes to show how much progress Masterminds had already got on the cart, that there wasn't quite enough time for even one respawn. That was really down to the wire.
And the reality is, though, that even if they'd held out for another 90 seconds, it's still a very difficult situation here where now you have to defend the first point of Hollywood for what would have been 3 is actually 4 minutes and 13 seconds against one tick. And we've got quad tank coming out again. Well, it worked the first time, probably going to work the second.
What happened in this hotel? Why is there so much discarded luggage?
Well, it wasn't actually a battle. Okay, this is Hollywood, and it was just a lot of really drunk actors. They just a party, man. No one's cleaned up yet. That's the problem.
No one tipped the bellhop, and he just left everyone's luggage and quit.
That's it. That's probably exactly what happened. Yeah.
He like threw it around the lobby, like, you know what? You can take your own luggage to your room. I'm out. I'm done.
Maybe they didn't realize you need to tip.
Yeah, that would be. I mean,
maybe they're Aussies. They go overseas.
Maybe they're literally anyone who isn't an American who didn't realize that you have to tip in America.
Yeah. It's always like, oh, right, yeah, more money, cool. Anyway, let's see what Masterminds can do. This may be a very, very quick push. They're going to come straight out onto the point. No, Going to swing round to the
Wrap
right.
around. I like this. They've sort of faked out NoC Predators. NoC, who sort of saw that initial movement and went, oh, they're going to do the same thing again. And now Masterminds is just like sort of ring around the rosy here. It's like, oh, will she, won't she? Just trying to mind game NoC Predators out into a bad position. And now Masterminds finding their entrance. But no, NoC Predators have reacted to it. They did not drink the Kool-Aid. They have successfully read the move. Now Colorhex is kind of stuck in a trap, going to get picked off. Kiki, now he can get staggered out here. NoC Predators can actually draw quite a lot of time out of this, and they need to draw time off the clock. Masterminds only need a third, and they get so many opportunities to take that fight.
Yeah, being a diva has its pros and cons. Pro is that you get to shoot rockets. The con is that sometimes you will get staggered just as a result of how it plays out. So that was a good start. Only another 3 or 4 times to go here that they have to hold back, and here comes attempt number 2. NoC ready with that Riptire as well, so that might be able to force this one back.
It should do, and Masterminds all swapping up, so we've got a bit of compositional catch-up in the mix here. So if NoC Predators can get a couple of low economy fight wins, they could burn a lot of time off the clock while Masterminds are trying to just sort of even it up. Gets Nellery, that's one way to go. The whole hog from Oily, though, not quite getting the same mileage, and actually NoC only getting 1 kill in what was a very expensive fight. Masterminds, they should be able to get some ultimates up before too long, and that may have actually just been NoC Predators signing their own death warrant.
It's like going out for dinner and not realizing that everyone's already ordered a round of drinks for everyone else, and all of a sudden you've got 6 drinks on your table per person. Sounds like fun. It's an expensive way to go, however. This time, maybe it will work out. They've spent all their utility, all their ultimates now, and the NoC Predators in a difficult spot. We'll see Kiki get dropped out. The ultimate comes out. That self-destruct. How's that going to play? Finds one. Sino goes down. NoC takes out Dowsu. We're back to 1 apiece.
Oh, that's the catch. Ninja needing that one desperately to close out the fight. And this does actually rebuff Masterminds, who did end up committing some ultimates into that fight. They're going to be cycling into a few more once again, but now NoC Predators can cycle into some of their own, can maybe just get enough off that to win. They are a little bit behind, though, still.
This has been a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, to be honest. The Masterminds and NoC have done a good job. Oh, straight away the hook comes out, picks him down. Self-destruct going to come out. Colorhex goes down. That was the Ninja and the Pulse Bomb. Exactly right. Transcendence, no. It's just Oli there.
Riptide from NoC. There we go. That's what he was looking for. Wraps right the way around. And again, with what few resources they had, NoC Predators actually did it. And yeah, 1.5 minutes, once again making some compositional changes. You've got to consider that Masterminds may not quite be able to do this. It could end up going to a draw if NoC Predators, you know, they can get a good whole hog here. They can maybe weather what few ultimates Masterminds have thanks to a Transcendence just about to come up from Special Kid. Off that, they should be cycling back into things like the Riptire, the Pulse Bomb, the Self-Destruct, tools that they have used so far to great effect.
Colorhex, you can see now on this Farah, hoping potentially to get an ultimate, maybe in time to do something with this to try and pick it up.
Forced out from Dalsu, that's the sound barrier very early in the fight. NoC Predators, though, having to use their own defensive ultimate, the Transcendence, to keep members alive, but it's Taki, the first casualty. Is Kiki, he knows just to pull straight back before they lose any more members. They cannot afford to lose any more time. Happy to just trade 1 ult for 1 ult.
You've got Nellery, you've got Kiki, you've got Colorhex ready to go. The ultimates here, they're going to have 1 more push, 1 more chance to get 1 tick of this point, at which point this could be a draw and a very impressive one coming out from NoC Predators. Colorhex trying to find the perfect position here for this barrage, because it could be key.
They should be able to do it. They've got the right ultimates. The defensive tools aren't there for NoC, but might not happen. No! Sinai knocks him out of the air. Cantus is trying to find an angle for a res, but all the ultimates have already been used by Masterminds. You want to be resing with more tools at your disposal. NoC nearly has a Riptire, but he's got no tank line in front of him. May not have a safe place in which to channel it. Special Kid getting pressured out. There's the Riptire. Needs to close it out. Only finds Nellery, and now it's just Ninja trying to knock out Dalsu, and Cantus trying to do what he can. NoC's having a hard time to get grenades onto a Flying Mercy, and Ninja has no one to really heal him. Special Kid has just got too many things on his plate right now, but Oily able to rejoin the fray. Even as Masterminds start trying to remuster the members, they do not have the numerical advantage. NoC Predators holding on at what felt by a sliver of a hair at times, but they're going to do it. They've got Nellery off the point. It's just Taki now. They should be able to send him packing, and off the back of that, overtime vanishes. They've done it. They have drawn.
That is incredible. 4 minutes, 13 seconds. They only needed 33% on that point, and they could not get it. NoC Predators, an incredible hold. Wow.
That was something else. I mean, it feels almost mean to say it, but like, yeah, look, we did go into this expecting a really strong result on the whole from Masterminds. You know, we were talking 4 O's, 3 1s and all that kind of thing. Look, that's still a possibility even with the draw in the mix, but you've got to consider with the 99-99 followed by 99-80 we saw on Ilios, followed now by a draw and like a defense for 4 minutes when their initial defense just absolutely crumbled.
That's the killer, right?
And that's the adaptation as well. This is now NoC Predators who are learning, who are adapting, who can maybe now go the distance in the series. Look, this one's a draw, but maybe Assault goes to a win for them. Maybe we go, you know, to a 3-1 situation either way here.
Very impressive from NoC Predators. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is our first draw in the AU Contenders.
I believe it is. I believe that's the first time we've seen it. And to see it in such a way, to me, is so surprising that I was kind of making fun like, oh, yeah, well, if they trickle on to the point there at the end, it's only going to maybe buy them another minute, at which 3 minutes, like, as if they could hold on out. They had our 4 minutes 13.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Very, very good stuff there from NoC Predators. And like you said, they seem to be sort of adapting their way into this series. What I do want to mention is the fact that now Masterminds are not essentially undefeated. They haven't won every single map that they've played, which Sydney Drop Bears has so far done.
No, to be fair, they are undefeated.
They are undefeated.
I know. They haven't got the map.
What I'm trying to say is, though, they're not going to be 12-0 at the end of 3 matches, which is what Sydney Drop Bears are. So right now, Sydney Drop Bears, 100% win rate.
Yeah, and actually, just by the way, to speak to that notion of adaptation as well, there was something else we did see mainly throughout that time bank defense. Not only was there the initial adaptation to that quad tank that had absolutely decimated the NoC Predators defense the first time around, then we saw Mastermind cycle through 2 whole other team compositions, which NoC Predators then also successfully defended against. Now look, compositional catch-up and, you know, the trying to rebuild ult charges is a factor in that, but there were a number of fights there where even with the compositional change, there was an ultimate advantage for Masterminds that NoC were then withstanding and just overall outplaying and out-executing on their defense. That was a very well-deserved draw, and I almost reckon if you were to reset that map right now, you could even consider NoC Predators could take a win.
Well, we could potentially consider that in our next couple of maps. For now, though, we're going to head to a quick break, but don't go anywhere because right now, NoC Predators really putting the pressure on Masterminds. We'll be back in a sec.